Hi there, everybody, and apologies for being a couple of minutes late to our live today. I'm really excited to be here. I did make a time change. It just works better, and hopefully it works for you as well. But remember that these lives always stay in the group so that you can watch them at a later date. Anyway, as promised, as you may have seen on social media, and as I said in the headline, I want to talk to you a little bit about self-care today. So first of all, I just want to ask you, how are you? Like, how's it going today? Are you having a good day, a bad day, a so-so day? Pop it in the comments or hit the various emojis down the bottom to let me know how you are feeling today. Okay? I know it's a tough time. So let me get started. So what do you think of when I say self-care? Like the term self-care, what does that say to you? It says a lot of different things to different people, but it really comes down to a couple of things. So I ask my clients this a lot, like, what do you think of when you hear self-care? So I hear things like mani-pedis, bubble baths with wine, time with my girlfriends, reading a good book, all of those kinds of things. And yes and no. Some of them maybe not really self-care, more maybe some pampering. There's nothing wrong with that, but definitely some good self-care practices in that short list that I just gave you. But self-care basically is the daily practice of nourishing your body, your mind, and your spirit. Does it sound a little lofty and profound? It really isn't, and it isn't complicated, but it's essentially taking care of ourselves and showing ourselves some self-love. If you ask a psychiatrist for their definition of self-care, for example, what they consider self-care, and I'm going to read you what a friend of mine wrote, is any activity that we do deliberately in order to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. So pretty much the same thing. It just depends on how you define those words, right? So although it's simple in context, or in concept, in theory, it's something that we often overlook. Like and especially when we are in absolute crisis like you are now, right? So good self-care, though, is key to improved mood, better relationships, dealing with anxiety, and all the stuff that you're dealing with right now, right? So it's so important. Yes. So again, like, are you going through a crisis right now? Absolutely. And like I said, self-care never more important. Your brain, I remember my brain would be racing 1,000 miles a minute. There was just so much to think about and so many feelings and stuff going on. Like it was just running a mile a minute every day. It seemed like all day, like just overload. I remember I used to think like, oh my God, this is aging me. Because it was just like so much stress. Maybe your kids are having a really bad day. Maybe your lawyer called and you have to make this massive decision. Maybe you just found out that your ex has a new girlfriend and you're going, shit, like, did that just happen? I know it's overwhelming. And then I'm sitting here talking about self-care and you're kind of going, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't have time for that. But you have to. You might be thinking, bring on the wine. And I get it. I get it. Really, I do. But I'm going to stop you for just a minute before you grab that bottle of wine. Okay. Drag a nail across the blackboard. Stop. Okay. Screech. This is when you need to get in touch with what matters to you in order to make those decisions, and in order to help your child, and in order to deal with this new girlfriend and whatever that's going to bring into your backyard, because it will get dumped in your backyard. You need to take care of yourself and get kind of in harmony with what you're thinking about it, so that you can better put that out there in a more planned and deliberate way, as opposed to just reacting, because I certainly had my moments of reacting, and those generally ended up being regretful kind of moments. So this is so that it can, by getting in touch with yourself, you can make decisions with some clarity, right? So if you're just popping onto the live, please let me know that you're here. Say hi in the comments so I know who's here, okay? So I'm talking about self-care. So the regular daily practice of self-care will help you with all of these big decisions that you need to make. You've heard it before. You can't pour from an empty cup, okay? Yes, there's a lot to do, and the decisions you have to make almost daily are massive and life altering. This is the thing that overwhelmed me so much. I was like, every decision I make is going to have an impact on either my life or my kids' lives for possibly years to come. And that is overwhelming. Plus, you're dealing with all the emotions of what you're going through right now, right? So, I mean, thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about, if that is how you feel as well. So all these big decisions, these huge emotions of what had happened with my ex, my kids, within myself, everything just felt so big. My brain was on overload. Like I was just dying. Yes, I know you feel the same way. And it's great. I'm so glad you're here. So, but I found I couldn't focus. I couldn't focus on the big decisions. So what I had to do was to sit with myself. Like I finally realized I've got to do something. And I would just sit down and think about all this stuff. And I would kind of get past all the day-to-day decisions and kind of just sit with myself and start to understand better what was going on. And I asked myself a lot of questions, like, why did this happen? Why, what was my part in this? What was his part? What could I have done differently? What do I wish I'd done differently? What do I not want to do again? Like I started really asking myself big questions, and not easy questions, but I learned so much about myself and what mattered to me, and it was huge, and it really gave me clarity. So when I then later had to kind of get back to the decision, respond to a lawyer's email, get back to my ex about something, or talk to my child about a difficult situation, I actually found it easier because in my mind, things were now clear and I could actually communicate in a way that wasn't so overly emotional, but I could actually be reasonable, be a parent, do what I needed to do, and then phone my girlfriend and cry and carry on, just saying. And I really started doing this pretty much every day. So that is sort of my first tip to you, is just take time every day to sit with yourself and listen to what's going on and understand your emotions and where they're coming from, and then figure out how you're going to deal with it. And maybe that's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or 30 minutes. For me, it honestly was closer to the 30 minutes during that time. Now it can be shorter because I'm in a better place. But again, when things get difficult, I increase that time right away. So on top of the difficult decisions, life kind of sucks right now. Like when you're going through a separation or a divorce, life can be really kind of awful. And that's okay. I mean, that's normal. It's the way it is. And I used to think, like, I just used to think everything was so awful. And I just wanted to get away from the pain and the hurt. And one of the things that was the hardest for me that made my days suck so badly was that every single morning, the very first thought that came into my head was my ex's mistress, of all things. Like, I don't know why I woke up and thought about her right away, but I guess it's because I kind of felt like she'd ruined my life. I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's because she was 10 years younger than me. I don't know why. But I just woke up thinking about that every morning. And I thought that has to stop. Like, that is not a good start to my day. So I need to change that. So I started a gratitude practice. I started waking up in the morning, I'd sit up in my bed and I would name 4 things I was grateful for. I thought, because I would sit there before and I go, oh my God, she's got it all. She won, she's lucky, whatever, I don't know. And instead, I would just change that around and go, no, I'm the lucky one. I have 4 healthy boys. I have a great relationship with them. I have my health. And there'd be something else. I always did 4 things every single day. 4 things. It changed my entire outset for the day. It was like, okay, this is actually a good day because I have so much, instead of waking up and starting with what I didn't have and who I hated that day and whatever else, right? So that was really, really big for me. The last thing that I did, and to those of you who know me, this is not going to be a surprise, but exercise was a key for me. It is, first of all, scientifically proven to reduce anxiety, stress, and depression. And let's face it, when you're going through separation and divorce, you are going through some stage of mild depression, if nothing else. Like, it is a tough, tough time. And there's just so much stuff going on, and stress is definitely high. And going into the gym, for me, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, and I was out, or it was an hour, whatever I needed that day. But I always left feeling better, no matter what my mindset was when I walked in that day. I can guarantee you and promise you, I walked out feeling better. And that's something we need. Like, let's put something positive in. I'm going to put my health first. I'm going to take care of myself. I knew I needed to feel strong or I wasn't going to get through this. So exercise was one of the ways that I got through the day. I got to the gym, I walked out feeling better, and I was like, okay, I can take on the world. And if I'd had a really good workout, I was in a bit of a kick-ass mood, and that would only help me and watch out for everybody else, right? So who else is on here right now exercises to get through stress? Do you find that exercise helps you with stress? Or is gratitude a practice that you have tried, and does that help you? Or sitting and doing private sort of reflection, or what I call it reflection. I also believe it could be called meditation. I tend to call myself someone who doesn't do well with meditation. I'm not good at it, but by that I mean, if I'm listening to sort of pingy music and I'm supposed to sit there and do a mantra, it doesn't work for me. But sitting and really getting into my thoughts and reflecting, that I can do. And I don't know, I'm going to call it meditation because then I get to be good at it. So what kind of practice did you do or do you do as you're going through your separation and divorce that really helped you? It can really help other people if you post that in the comments here as well. So I'd love to hear from you about that. And that's kind of all I have for you today. Now, are there any questions about self-care, about any of the practices that I just shared with you? Post them in the comments and I will answer them right away, or I will answer them after the live if you post them later. Okay, if the live is over and you're watching as a repeat, put your questions in there. I will still come back and answer them. But I really do want to hear from you. So I will be looking for those comments. All right. Now, next week, I will be talking about what happens, and it's going to be something that I mentioned already today. What happens when you find out that your ex has a new girlfriend? Maybe it's only been a few months, maybe it's been years, but what happens? The kids, they meet her, don't meet her, whatever, they feel this way, that way. I want to dig into that a little bit and the emotions that you're going through, because you are not alone. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't matter who ended the marriage. It still doesn't feel good. And I want to talk to you about that. So I hope you tune in next week. It will be at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. And let me know if there's anything else you want to hear about as well. Okay. So I'll talk to you soon. And thank you for tuning in. And remember to practice exercise, gratitude, and some meditation or self-reflection. It'll get you through the tough days. And before I go, I just want to mention, you might think that there's other things that are more important to you right now, like taking care of legal or financial or all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that stuff's important, but it'll be so much easier to deal with if you take care of yourself first. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Yes, it's a cliche, you've heard it before, but it's actually true. If you don't take care of yourself, you have nothing left to give to your kids, to this thinking you have to do, to these life-altering decisions that you have to make, okay? Take care of yourself, be good with yourself, get clear on what you want and what's important to you and what matters and what makes you happy and what puts a smile on your face, and making those decisions is going to be a lot easier, okay? I promise. So chin up, get through the day, okay? And I'm here for you if you need me. Just post a comment, send me a message, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a really great day.